Hello everyone, it's Wayne here from E-Stim Systems, and it's taken us 2 years finally to try and do a live stream. Hopefully this is going to work. There's a lot of technology stuck off the end of these cameras. There's a lot of technology in our little studio, and like everything, we've been spending hours trying to get it all to work. In the last 5 minutes, fingers crossed, it all works. So what is this? Well, this is E-Stim Systems talking about what we do, talking about our products, but equally asking questions of our customers and answering questions, because at the end of the day, you people out there are the people who actually use our products, who pay us money to build the products for you. And that's what we try and do. And we love listening to our customers. And I'm now just seeing some comments down. David Roberts, good afternoon. Thank you, David. Joanne, I'm blaming you for this, Joanne. Joanne's reviews, if anyone in the E-Stim community, or if you're interested in E-Stim, then go and have a look at Joanne's reviews. She does a weekly live stream, and quite frankly, she is nuts doing a weekly live stream, because the amount of effort and stress that I've gone through just trying to do a live stream probably once a month. I could have spent all day just sitting here talking to a camera and hoping people ask questions. The good news is, over the past 2 or 3 days, I've been asking people to send in questions via DMs, so social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. And thank you, everyone. Guess what? I have a pile of questions that people have asked. One thing I have learned, posting adverts on Facebook. Now, I actually decided to advertise this live stream on Facebook, and Facebook, in their mad wisdom, actually said yes, mainly because I was going to give them some money. The problem is, 2/3 of the comments that I got from Facebook were very, very spammy and probably had no idea what they were letting themselves in for. So if you come from Facebook and you think that E-Stim is something different to what you might have thought it is, then good luck. Please stay. It'd be great to listen to what you're thinking. But yeah, Facebook was a bit of an issue, and we ended up some quite interesting comments. The most common was, can I have a free trial? And I think based on that, they didn't really understand what we do. Anyway, what do we do? Well, E-Stim Systems is a company that manufactures E-Stim equipment. What's E-Stim equipment? Well, basically they're little power boxes. There's a few on the shelves behind me that produce an electrical signal, and you then apply it to the body. You apply it to the body in an interesting way. So you can use insertables like these, you can use sticky pads, you can use all sorts of things. But E-Stim is basically the safe use of electricity to stimulate the body for adults. If you're not an adult, you shouldn't be watching this live stream, so please go away. Danny, 2 nails in socket, that's the trial. Danny, could I suggest that's probably not the best way to do things? But yeah, 2 nails in the sockets. I do have an assistant today, the lovely Kaz. My wife is hiding over there, pretending to be the editor. She's basically pressing buttons. And so you'll see random stuff appear down here at times, and that's basically Kaz pressing buttons. We will drag her in front of the camera at some point, but she was like, no, I'll just be there. Anyway, the sofa. I thought I'd mention the sofa because this is the infamous sofa. This came from Joanne. Actually, it didn't come from Joanne. The idea came from Joanne to get a sofa for the studio, and we thought we'd get a sofa for the studio. Unfortunately, it's a bit small because someone ordered it from Temu. So don't order things from Temu. Anyway, let's get rid of the sofa and bring the fishbowl in. These are all the questions that we have been asked on social media about E-Stim, minus the ones that were completely spammy and accusing us of corrupting children, accusing us of being, what did we get called? It's probably not publishable. But there were a few words that were like, really? This is just an advert on Facebook. But anyway, so these are going to be random questions, and I'll do my best because this is supposed to be a Q&A. We are aiming to do this once a month. As we get more used to it, it'll probably be slicker and there'll be more interesting things. We're also going to do a couple of giveaways, but I'm not telling you what the giveaways are just yet. But I will give you a clue. You can actually see the giveaway now. And I don't need to press any magic buttons to show you. But I am going to look at the first question. I haven't actually... Question is, what's he done with the goldfish? I refuse to answer that on the grounds I'm going to incriminate myself. Okay, first question, and clearly this is from the internet. Why is your stuff so expensive? Okay. The answer is, I don't know what to do with these. Now I'll stick them in the cup. Why is the stuff so expensive? Well, we don't feel it's expensive. We feel it offers good value for money. The problem we have is we're a small-scale manufacturer. We manufacture here in the UK. We have our own workshops. We don't have mass production in China like a number of other companies. We have to pay staff in the UK. We have to buy new machines. And yes, Danny, I did mention a new machine. It's not a new power box, although I'll talk about new things in a bit. We do have a new CNC machine arriving hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Yes, there's going to be a bit of an issue because we have zero space in our workshops. We'll make it fit, mainly by taking one out. But we don't feel our kit is expensive. One of the things we do offer is a lifetime guarantee on all of our power boxes and all of our electrodes, which means that when you buy kit from us, you're buying something that's going to last you for a while. We don't expect our kit to break down in 5 minutes. We're repairing boxes under lifetime guarantee, which are up to 20 years old because we've been going for 20 years. In fact, it's our birthday in September. We've been around for 20 years. So clearly we're doing something right. So we try and keep our prices reasonable. We can't compete with the big mass market where they're just having everything made in China. It's all injection molded. It's cheap. We can't do that. So we concentrate on quality, and we also concentrate on offering you something that actually genuinely works. Everyone you talk to at E-Stim who's involved in the sales side of things and people who are involved in the testing side of things, when I say testing, I do mean testing, as in they take it away and they play with it. We all play with our kit, so we know what works for us, and hopefully that extrapolates to what works for you. This all costs money, which is why the prices are what they are. We don't make millions. I wish I did. I don't drive a Porsche, I drive a Peugeot. So that's why the price is the price. So let's dive into another question. Hopefully it's an easier one than that. What is a session file? That's a quick one. One problem with doing this live is you can't cut it and edit out the weird bits. But E-Stim Systems 2B runs a system called session files. Well, what it actually does is it plugs into a computer, and you can then pre-record a session on the computer and play it back to your 2B. So you can run the same thing again and again. You can edit those files, and they're basically text files. A lot of people play with E-Stim using audio files, and there is something called stereo stimming, which has been around for 20, 30 years. And if you get into E-Stim, you'll hear comments about stereo stimming. Now, we don't do stereo stimming, mainly because it's very difficult to create a machine that will then pass the relevant safety standards. It's quite easy to create a machine that will give you a stimulation, but whether it's safe or not, that's a bit of a problem, which is why you tend to find the stereo stim units are homemade. There's a few designs out there, and they do work for some people, but you have to be quite techie to get them to work well. And we just came up with a system that we thought was a lot easier. If you go onto our forum, you will find people there who've written their own session files, which work for them, and you can tweak them to get them to work for you. And they're turning out to be quite popular. So a session file is basically a file that you can play through your 2B to get it to do things. It's a session. And they can be minutes long, they can be seconds long, they can be weeks long in theory. I think we worked out the longest session file could be something like 8,000 years. Another question. Does it work with Bluetooth? Not yet, no. Bluetooth control is something that is cropping up from time to time with various sex toys. And it is something we've looked at in the past. There have been variations of modules that people have created to work with the 2B. The big problem with Bluetooth is it's never 100% accurate. It's never 100% accurate's not the word. It has issues with putting bodies in the way. It just doesn't work all the time. It's not reliable enough for us to go that route at the moment. And also a lot of people use Bluetooth with things like mobile phones. And when I play, I tend to use lube. I don't really want to get lube over my expensive mobile phone. So I tend to work with power units that have knobs and controls and things like that. So at the moment, Bluetooth, I'm not saying no, but equally I'm not saying yes, because we haven't done it yet. One thing we do not do, and there are companies out there who do it and make me bash my head against the wall, is we will not release details of items until we actually have them. Yes, we're developing new products, but we're not going to tell you what those new products are until we've actually got them ready to ship on the shelf. We are certainly not going to create things and then expect you to pay for them, do pre-orders. It's fine for some companies to do it, and they do pre-orders knowing that it's going to come in next week and they've actually got the product. I know, for instance, Joanne does pre-orders for some of her new stuff, but she's got it, it's being delivered. She knows what the product is. Perfectly fine with that, no issues with that. Joanne's system, brilliant. What they're doing is fantastic. But there are other larger companies out there who've done pre-orders for something that might be waiting for, I think, about 3 years. And to me, that's not good business. So we're not going to tell you about new products until we actually have them. The latest new products have been spectacular successes. We've just released the triples, and before that we released the rings. And quite frankly, the hardest thing is keeping them in production, because people keep buying them, which I'm not complaining about, but sometimes you're like, I need to get some of these made in order to get them shipped out to you. So next question. Let's rock through these. What's this going to be? Can I be a tester? It's an interesting one, because we do actually have testers out there, and most of our testers tend to be customers first. That way we find we tend to get a much more realistic and honest opinion of what we're doing. So we don't actually have an application to be a tester. It tends to be a case of we have conversations with people, we look at what they're doing, and then we approach them potentially. Or sometimes we've had people approach us and we felt that the match has been good. So at the moment, we don't have any vacancies for testers. However, if you've got some of our products and you want to give us feedback about them, positive or negative, please feel free to drop us an email. Tell us why you like it. Tell us why you don't like it. We will listen. We might not instantly fix the problem that you suggest might exist, if there is a problem, but we always listen to what customers tell us. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to go through development. We don't always get things right the first time round. We do try, but we do listen. Electro rings, I think, probably had 4 or 5 different versions that we thought were coming right to that level of, I'm going to release it. And then when we actually got to the stage where we started playing with them, they just weren't working for us. So they went back on the drawing board, and eventually we got them. Okay, dokie, what do we have now? How do I know which ring would fit? This is related to electro rings, and the answer is we provide you with a set of dimensions, which will be a measurement of diameter and circumference. So basically, take a piece of paper or a fabric measuring tape, wrap it around your appendage, like so, and then unwrap it and measure that distance, and that will give you a pretty close estimate. One thing we don't do at the moment is we don't do any form of measuring rings. The reason being is because it's another thing that we have to produce, and it's another thing that, one, it takes time to produce, it's going to cost money, and potentially people are then going to go, well, I bought that, now I want that, but you've already bought rings type things. It doesn't really work for us. So it's a case of, we'll give you the information. It's relatively simple to measure. And most people seem to be buying more than pairs, because we all change over time. So we all get bigger and smaller. And now with the stacker, you can run more than one ring at a time. In fact, I think I'm up to 7. Not personally, we just stacked 7 rings up together to see what it looked like. I used to have a few stuck around. Kaz is laughing over there. Why are you laughing over there? So, okay, another question. Can I swap electrodes from kits? No, not at the moment. I say not at the moment, probably not from us, because we build the kits up in multiple packs at a time, and it gets very complex if you start to go, okay, well, I want a helix, but I want it with a different electrode. The simple answer is we build these packs to try and give you, our customers, and also our wholesalers as well, a simple product that they can just buy off the shelf and they've got enough to get started with. If we started offering all the options, then it just gets too complex and we have to draw the line somewhere. So we do not allow people to take electrodes out of kits and swap, chop and change. It doesn't stop you buying the kit and then also buying the other electrodes, because also don't forget, a lot of the electrodes that we stock in terms of the kit tend to be the most common ones. So just because you initially don't want the flange doesn't mean to say you're never going to use it. So that's why we do the kits as they are. These are scaring me, someone. Can you do coloured electrodes? That's an interesting one. Can we do coloured electrodes? Not easily. We can do coloured insulators, and in fact we do actually do two. We do the black collection, which is over here, and we have the red collection. The difference is the black collection, this side, that side, has black insulators, and the red collection has a red insulator. If you mean, I'll put those back. If you mean, can we colour the metal? Well, technically you can, because metals can be anodized. The problem with anodization is it doesn't conduct. So we would end up with a nice coloured electrode, which doesn't work because it doesn't conduct, which is why we don't do coloured electrodes. Do you make custom electrodes? No, we don't. We don't make custom electrodes because it takes us probably 4 to 6 weeks to come up with a basic design that then has to go through that initial processing to create something that can be machined. And it takes time, and therefore time is money. So when I turn around to a customer and say, yeah, we can do a custom electrode for you, but it's going to cost you 4 figures because we've got to pay for development time, it's just not practical. I'm a new customer and I've purchased by trial and error. I have no complaints. Thank you, Robin. You've just made my day. Welcome. Hopefully the trial and error has been more trials and errors. At the end of the day, that's how we started to a certain extent. We created things that worked for us. Not everything we created worked for us personally, but it did work for other people. And we still have products which I won't touch with a barge pole. You will not find me sounding, because sounding scares the hell out of me. No, sounding, no, I will not do sounding. However, I do have at least 2 people on the team who love sounding, who spend more time with bits of metal in that position than maybe they should do, but they love sounding, and that's where we get our experience and our expertise from things like sounding. And equally, this one here, the decimator, is a little bit big for most of our team, but somebody has used it, and it wasn't me. Been using E-Stim devices, but UK is a little bit far away from me to order. We do ship around the world. If we're shipping further away than the UK, then we'll tend to use DHL or UPS, and we've shipped virtually to every country in existence. So yeah, there is going to be a little additional cost for the shipping itself, and depending on what you order, you could potentially have to pay a bit of customs duty. But one, it's worth it. And we are getting more stockists that are in the US, for instance, and we have stockists in Australia. If you're not going to order directly from us, then potentially look at some of the other stockists. We have a stockist list on the website, which might be easier for you to get hold of and get to. So we are working on that. We've just come back from a show in the States. Yes, E-Stim Systems has managed after 20 years to hit California. It was great. Fantastic show. Hopefully we've got a few new stockists appearing from that show. So we're trying to expand around. The other option you have, if you have stores local to you, go into the store and say, you should be stocking this. Get them to contact us, and we can come up with some deals for them. Another question, can I use my piercings as contact points? I have a PA. Okay. The answer to that is yes, sort of. One of the problems with using piercings Firstly, I would ask how old is the piercing, because what you don't want to do is use a piercing that is too fresh. If it's quite fresh, when I say fresh, anything younger than 6 months, you're going to have quite delicate skin around there. The skin's still going to be growing back. So I'd probably avoid it if they're relatively new. If they are old enough and you're comfortable enough, you could use them for a contact point. The problem you're going to have is the minute you start to use metallic items inside the skin, you're going to have issues with very small surface area, high current density. Potentially you could get burning inside the PA area. It's not something I would recommend. I do know people who do use them. Generally, I would say use lots of lube, but if you're going to use a contact point that's embedded into the skin, be aware that the intensity is going to be much higher. For Walrus, well, I love that, Walrus anus. Customs largely depend on the country. Here in the Czech Republic, those Hungary, yeah. It's an interesting one. Customs, we have mixed responses depending on where we go. Where we're sending, yes, customs will sometimes be complete so-and-sos, and other times they're not as bad as people think. I mean, we're shipping stuff around the world daily. Well, I say daily, we don't ship at weekends, but we're shipping upwards of 50 packages a day. So we see what the issues are. First thing is, if you're buying from the UK and you're in Europe, don't forget you're not paying European VAT, unless you're in Norway, I think it is, because we do charge VAT for Norway, because we then have to pay Norway. So the prices are slightly less than you would if you were paying normal VAT. And generally customs, that's what you're being charged. You're being charged the VAT. Due to Brexit, there shouldn't be any import duty. There's sometimes a processing fee. And that's something we can't control. It's just something that exists. Unfortunately, it's not something I have any control over. We have in the past been asked to mislabel packages. The answer to that is, sorry, no, it's actually illegal. And it's actually illegal for us to do it. And it's also illegal for you to ask us to do it. It's called evasion of duty or something like that. Jared, what is your opinion of the Electrostim teasers on Malova? I've used them twice and they were interesting, but I don't think I got into them deep enough to actually find any massive differences to using things like session files or just using normal audio files. I haven't used them enough to really have a strong feeling either way. Let's have a look in the Q&A bucket. Oh, can you do videos of kit in action? I'd love to. I would love to do videos of kit in action. Unfortunately, I would have them on YouTube for about 15 seconds before they pulled the channel. We do have some professionals who use our kit. We do have some professionals who run various channels, which you can see our kit in action. The biggest one probably that springs to mind is Anna Rose, who's a lovely lady. She has some really lovely, fantastic videos of our kit in action. Go and do a search and have a look. But whether we're ever going to publish videos of kit in action, no, we can't. The only time we've ever done it, we did a demonstration at Expectations in London. The video was actually up for about 2 years because it was deemed to be artistic. Unfortunately, then YouTube pulled it down and basically said that we'd breached all sorts of various rules. So no, we can't put videos of product in action, although I'd love to. Can you do a smaller triple? It's on the cards. We are looking at things. The problem with the triples is trying to get all of that mechanical genius inside into something that's physically smaller. But are we going to see other designs of the triples around? Yes, we are. That's planned at some point. Robin, you're correct. All your equipment is excellent quality, and that's why I'm prepared not only to pay more than the dubious companies out there charge, but because you're a UK business. Thank you, Robin. That's why we do it. You have hit the nail on the head. We love being a UK business. We love to support other UK businesses, which is one of the reasons why we love Joanne. I'll tell you a little story about Joanne. Joanne of Joanne's Reviews approached us a while ago and said, can we review something? Because I think at the time she was beginning to start doing reviews of sex toys in general. And we have people asking them similar questions almost daily. And we had a look and went, actually, yeah, why not? She hadn't done Electrode before, but her style of her channel was quite interesting, and it was quite honest. Everything we try and do, we try and be honest with people. We're not here to rip you off. We're not here to create something that isn't what it's supposed to be. If we have a reviewer who reviews something and says it's rubbish, then we'll deal with that, and we will talk to the reviewer and find out what have we done wrong. So we don't pay for reviews. We do provide kits sometimes when people ask for it, and sometimes we'll just take a punt and go, yeah, why not? Go for it, review it. And that's how Joanne started on Electrode with us. And she's gone a bit nuts, quite frankly. Joanne, slow down a bit, because I think they must have like rooms of 3D printers printing all new designs every 5 minutes. It's like, new design, print it, print it, print it, print it. Because every time you go on her website, and they've just done a lovely new website, you can come and do ours, Joanne, if you really want to. She creates more and more new products, and it's fascinating. Joanne's stuff is brilliant, and I love it. And yeah, she's a genius. Can I send it back if I don't like it? Honest answer is generally no. You can send products back if we've got it wrong. You can certainly send products back if it fails in some way. It has a lifetime guarantee after all. But just because you don't like something, no, you can't send it back. However, the one thing I will say is if you feel that you're not going to like it, talk to us beforehand. Don't just throw money at it and then buy something. Have a conversation with us, whether it's on social media, whether it's dropping an email or give us a call. Ask us what we feel. Tell us what you're planning to do with it. Are you planning to use it on yourself, your partner? Have you played with Electrode before? We, in the past, have done shows where we have actually turned around to people and say, don't buy 2B at the moment. Go off, find yourself a little cheap tens unit and see if you actually like it. Because then if you like a cheap tens unit, you're going to love a 2B or a Helix or something else. So we're not always here just to sell you the product. We want to sell people the product that works for you. The worst case scenario, I hate it, when people buy something and they've just bought it and they're like, it's rubbish. And it's like, well, why is it rubbish? It's rubbish because we didn't show you the best way to use it, or you're using it a different way to what it was designed for. And it just doesn't work. It's not great business for us, because now we've got a customer who's not happy. I'd much rather have a happy customer who's sitting there going, I love what you do. As Danny, try the Pebble first. That's how I started. Yep, we love the Pebble. We actually started on the Series 1, which was the predecessor to the Helix. But the Pebble is actually, I think it's in at least one of our playbags. Most people think that we spend all of our time playing with 2B. And no, actually the Helix and the remote, because wifey over there loves the remote. This is the most common question we get asked. Can I have a discount? And the answer to that is no. We do discounts. We do sales from time to time. We tend to broadcast our sales on social media. We don't necessarily tell you that much in advance because it's a sale. It's supposed to be special. So no, you can't have a discount. You certainly can't have a discount just because you're placing an order or because you feel that you're placing a large order. That's not how we work, because in all honesty, it wouldn't really be fair to other people. Can I buy it in America? Yes, you can. You can buy our products from at least 2 companies. Online, E-Stim USA. Good old Gary, he stocks our products. There's also Stores 665 and Mr. S. Robin, I have been diabetic for 40 plus years. Your ring system has given me sensations I have not felt in many years. Well worth every penny. Thank you, Robin. May you have more than 40 years, more use of it, but that's great to know. Another question from the jar. What new stuff is coming? No comment. I'm not telling you. There's always new stuff planned. Why don't you do a shock collar? Okay. Why don't we do a shock collar? Well, we do an E-Stim remote, but we strongly advise anyone using it above the waist needs to know what they're doing. And I certainly wouldn't condone the use of any shock device around the neck, mainly because you've got some rather important nerves going up the side of your neck, which control some quite useful functions like breathing. And shock collars are generally designed, if they're bastardized dog versions, which most of them tend to be, they're generally designed to be used on dogs with quite thick fur. Even in the UK, people like the RSPCA are against them because they traumatize the dogs. So we don't do shock collars because, quite frankly, they're dangerous. And yes, that's our opinion, but then we're in the business of manufacturing E-Stim, so we should know something about it. But no, we do not do shock collars. And we will not do shock collars. Can I swap heads on electrodes? You can, technically, because virtually all of our insertable electrodes run off a very similar system. Can you swap them all the time? It depends on the size of the bolts. It depends on the size of the necks. It is something that we're looking at. That's all I will say on that one. Some of these I'm worrying about. When is the next sale? No, no comment. Already answered that one. What is the best electrode? That's a very hard one to answer because electrodes are very personal, and generally they depend on what you like. I think the Mona is probably the most popular electrode we sell, closely followed by the MJ, because they seem to have that balance between size. In fact, that, there are magic camera stuff. So this is a Mona. This is a flange base. You have the neck, and then you've got quite a bulbous head. And then you have an MJ. So there we are. There's the two. And as you can see, they're similar, apart from the fact the MJ has a larger head. And this was actually designed by two of our test team. The MJ is their initials. They are the most popular electrodes. As to which one is the best electrode, that is going to be down to you. Personally, yeah, I think the MJ, I quite like the flange as well because it's small and simple and it just works for me. But it does change from time to time. Some days you might find that I'm looking for something else. How do you come up with your designs for electrodes? I don't know. I just look at things and think, oh, that would make an interesting design. Then out comes my little black book. It's one of those things that we're constantly looking at stuff and going, can we refine it? Can we make it better? Can we improve it? And if we can, then that potentially is a new electrode. You'll notice a lot of our electrodes start off small and then potentially get bigger because we're almost guaranteed every time we come up with the design, somebody wants it bigger. Already happened. We're already having requests for larger triples. And when you think the largest triple at the moment is 2.5 inches, this is going to be quite interesting. Do you do a stereo A-box? The A-box is a audio box that we do, which is what we describe as a pure audio. So all it does is basically just process audio. It doesn't do anything else. And it's a mono box. Why is it mono box? Because it's nice and simple. That's what it did for us. I mean, it's actually this, it was the second design we came up with. So we had the Series 1 and then we came up with an A-box. The current A-box is the Mark II. So it's smaller, it's lighter, a bit more powerful than the original A-box. If you want stereo, then look at the 2B or look at the Pebble, except the Pebble is microphone only. So if you want to plug into something, then the 2B is the way to go. And we haven't at the moment thought about whether we're going to release a stereo A-box because the A-box is pretty popular. It does what it says on the tin. And for a lot of people, the minute you get into more than one electrode, then things just get more complex. When are you going to do 3D printed electrodes? We're not. Joanne does 3D printed electrodes, and they're fantastic. And I have seen no reason for us to do 3D printed electrodes. One, because we have invested enormous sums of money in machining our electrodes. And Joanne does it really well. Why should we copy a competitor? Although Joanne technically is a competitor because she's selling things. But I don't see any reason to sort of go that route because it's not something that we have any specialism in or whether we should do it. It's just like, yeah. Why do I have to pay customs? I think we've already answered that one. The answer is because that's the law in your country. Unfortunately, it's not something that we have control over. I thought it was dangerous to do any stimming above the waist except nipple. Yeah, it's a case of, I think I've already mentioned this earlier, stimming above the waist has a risk. So it's one of those, you need to know what you're doing. The main thing you're trying to avoid is passing current across the chest. And across the chest isn't necessarily this way, but it's also front to back. People tend to have a very simplistic view of E-Stim. They sort of think it's, oh, you've got 2 points, it's going to go straight between the two. No, it doesn't. It depends on what materials between point A and point B, and yeah, you'll get some going from there, but you'll also get some going from there and some going from there, depending on what fluids and materials are there. It's a very, very complex subject. Is it dangerous? And the honest answer is we only know 2 people who have had issues with TENS units, not necessarily E-Stim, with pacemakers, which is one of the reasons we always say if you have any electronic implants, do not play with E-Stim, because it can potentially interfere with a pacemaker or any other electronic implant. Is it going to suddenly cause a heart attack? Unlikely, but it's that classic, it's increasing the risk. So this definition of dangerous doesn't necessarily mean it's going to kill you the instant you do it, but it's something that I wouldn't recommend unless you're pretty certain you know what you're doing. And I mean certain, not, oh, well, I've just seen something on the internet, therefore I'm an expert. If you're going to do nipple play, then use an isolated channel box, something like the 2B, and keep the current paths either side of the nipples, rather than trying to go, well, I'll connect one there and I connect the other there. It's no, even with a dual channel box, you've got to connect them correctly. Be aware of the potential risks. Is it going to kill your partner? Hopefully not, but it is an increased risk. And it's one of those, after a while, you start to understand the concepts, but still some people come up with weird and wonderful ideas. We are aware of a company that does a demonstration where 2 people kiss. And I'm still worried. I'm still thinking about how the current doesn't go across the chest or through your neck or all sorts of interesting places. Another option, as David Roberts has popped up, is he uses 2 boxes. Again, very good idea. Is E-Stim safe with Viagra? I don't honestly know. The reason I don't honestly know is I'm not medically qualified to tell you that. If you are taking things like Viagra and you're concerned, talk to your doctor. They are medically qualified. They will say yay or nay. Yes, there might be a little bit of embarrassment factor, but I've talked to medics before. These days, most people know that we all play with various things and they've seen most things. So be honest with your doctor, talk to them and see what they say. How safe? I've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about safety in E-Stim. How safe is E-Stim? And the answer to that is it's as safe as we can make it. We build our units to a British standard, a European standard, 60601-15, if I remember that one, which covers TENS units and electrostimulation. So we use that as our standard to create safe products. They carry a CE mark, they carry a UK CA mark. We build and test to make them safe. And all of our advice is based around, can we make it safe as possible? It is one of those things that, like anything, there's a risk somewhere. You could stand on a battery, trip over the box, you could trip over the cable. There's a risk there. Can I be a reviewer? Yep, you can be a reviewer. All you need to do is find your E-Stim box from the cupboard and go and play with it and create a video, talk about it, post on social media. That's how most of the reviewers have started. It's talk about your product. Do you mean, will we give you free kits so you can review? Unless you've got a reasonable track record, no, we probably wouldn't. But you could always ask, and we have been known to do mad things and go, yeah, we like you, have some kit and let us know how it goes. It's one of those, we get asked every day. We always have to look at it and go, are people just trying to promote their own channel? Are they actually going to add value to our customers? Because we're looking for people who are going to be open and honest. We want people who are going to provide people thinking about buying our products an insight as to their experiences. I can sit here, I can sit in front of a camera, I can talk about E-Stim for hours. In fact, I think I've just talked about E-Stim for 55 minutes. The point is, I'm always going to be biased because I sell the product, I make the product. I want you to buy the product. But equally, there are people out there who are going to just create reviews for clicks. We see them all the time now. If you wanted to create a review, by all means, create a review, post it up and ping us. The more stuff you have out there, the more people will listen to you. And the more people like me will sit there going, actually, yeah, we would like to send you some stuff because we like what you've done before. You've been honest. That doesn't mean to say that you have to be gushing about how wonderful it was. No, we want honest opinion. And we know not everything works for everyone. That's life. The key is trying to create something that works for most people And for the people it doesn't work for, they're the people we want to help as well, because it's a case of, okay, how do we take what we've done and create something that's better for you because you're different to the next person? How long do the batteries last? About as long as I do on a live stream. The answer is it depends. The 2B is the most powerful box. Yes, it does get through batteries quite quickly. Things like the Helix, they're quite efficient and they last a lot longer with batteries. Why do we do batteries? I know that was something that sometimes crops up. Why don't we do rechargeable? And the really simple answer is, one is because that's how we started. We started doing battery powered units 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, rechargeable wasn't that usual. And the thing with doing standard batteries is you get to that point where, oh, everything, it's so close and the battery goes flat. Now, if it was a rechargeable unit, you've basically killed the mood. You've killed the scene, because now you have to go and find a charger and plug it in and wait for it to charge up. Wouldn't it be better to be scrabbling around looking for another 9-volt battery to quickly stuff it in the box and click it on and go, right, now I can carry on? So you get like a 30-second gap as opposed to 2 hours. And again, that's based on how we play. We play doing that. We carry 2 or 3 batteries. I always remember selling a unit to a couple. It was at Erotica many years ago now, because Erotica in London doesn't run anymore. Big show at Olympia. A couple came up and they admitted to me, they bought the product on the first day, and I think it was a Series 1. They actually said that they borrowed the battery out of the smoke alarm because they didn't have a spare battery afterwards. And it was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. But they wanted to carry on playing, and that was the only place they could have a battery. So we always say, carry a spare battery. David Roberts, I use the mains power on the 2B. Yep, so do I, because I need that little bit extra power. The 2B is actually designed to use 2 power sources. You can use the battery or you can plug the power supply in. The power supply, because it has more latitude, will give you probably about a 30% boost just by plugging the power supply in. And incidentally, all of our other power units, when we do use batteries, we use batteries right to the nth level. So you don't suddenly find it suddenly goes, the box is working, oh, it's flat. What you'll find is you have to keep turning the box up as it gets flatter. If you were normally playing at 50%, now you have to play at 60%. And as the battery gets flatter, you then just increase. That way, use as much of that battery as possible. Roy, do I need to remove battery if using mains? Not on the modern 2B. No, you don't. Older 2Bs, and when I say older, probably 10 years plus, we would say yes. But anything since then, there's no issue. You don't need to remove the battery if you're using the mains. If you're storing your 2B for long periods of time, I would say take the battery out, because if the batteries leak, then they're potentially going to damage the 2B, and try and avoid that. What's the difference between a TENS unit and yours? E-Stim is basically more powerful, wider range, more programs, more controllability. TENS, yes, technically they are similar in the same way that Formula 1 car and a car are similar. They're both 4 wheels and an engine. E-Stim, we shifted the ranges that boxes work at to be much more attuned to being sensation-based rather than numbing or pain relief-based. And also you'll find with an E-Stim unit, you don't have anything that is medically orientated. So you won't have timers that run out after 30 minutes for a treatment. That's always a good spot for a TENS unit that's masquerading as an E-Stim. David, are upgrades on the 2B easy to upload? Yes, they are, David. And providing you've got the digital link, there are links in our channel for videos about how to do that. Basically, yep, the upgrades for the 2B are easy to upload. We're currently on 2.127 on the betas, which is available through the E-Stim forum. It's probably the closest we're going to get to a beta before we actually convert it into a full release, which is planned, but I don't know when. And the reason I don't know when is because we keep adding things to it. The betas are so easy to actually do. There's no big issue with just, yeah, there's a beta, go and have a play with it. If people like it, then they use it more. And if people don't like it, they tell us and we fix the bits that they don't like and carry on. Betas are the one things I really like about the 2B, because it's that constant, oh, actually, I could do that. And I'm already about 3 versions ahead in my personal list of things I can do. So despite the fact that 2B has been around for 10 years-ish, 13 years, something like that, we're still coming up with new ideas. Betas are easy to update on the 2B. All you need is a digital link and a PC or a laptop. I must admit, I've been talking for an hour and a minute and it's been fantastic. I love this and I'm going to do it again. I think we're going to probably look at doing one of these a month, and we're also going to try and get some guests in to chat. But if anyone wants to talk about E-Stim and talk about their experiences, then please drop us a line. We're quite happy to come up with some ideas where we can actually have a conversation, providing, of course, you're happy to sort of appear on good old YouTube. The whole purpose of this channel isn't to sell products. This is really a case of us trying to help you. We can spend all our time sitting in our little office or hiding in the workshop making things, but we really need to get out there and talk to people and find out what works for people, what doesn't work. And if it's not working for you, then we want to know, because it allows us to fix things. If you look at, for instance, the 2B has, I think, had about 14 or 15 iterations. You haven't seen all of them because we do internal changes, but we sort of do little changes that come up. And a lot of our products work that way. We constantly look at our products and go, can we make this better? And it's not just our products, it's our service as well. Can we improve our service? Can we deliver better? Can we pack it better? Can we give you more information about what's going on? So we're always trying to come up with ways of giving you more information. This YouTube channel is one of them. Unfortunately, we are stuck with its YouTube. Therefore, there are certain things we can and can't do. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching, for sticking with us. Thank you to Joanne and the team, because you are the people who actually drove me to do this, despite the fact we've had this studio for 2 years. This is the first proper live stream we've done, and it's all down to Joanne. So please, everyone, whatever you do, please be safe and have fun, and see you next month. Bye.